This fight between you and Colby getting made at the end of the year, it seemed like one of those situations where I want to see how the sausage was made. You know, why did it end up in New York, and how did it end up in December? Can you peel the curtain back and let us know?
They warned me about you, Brad. They warned me about you. At the end of the day, a lot of people at home, they think that, oh, now that I'm the champion, I get to just pick who I want to pick, and that's the way this game goes. This isn't boxing. You know, even in boxing, we see a lot of fights fall through. This is MMA. This is the UFC. You know, I'm a fighter in that company, so you know, there's three parts to making this fight happen now. You know, there's me, which is the A side as the champion, and then there's my opponents, who are all going to be the B side always, and then there's the judge, the jury, which is the UFC, and at the end of the day, they it's their job to put these fights together. So I mean, I've always said yes to every fight. I've said no to one fight, and I ended up fighting that fight. But I've always said yes to every opponent. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm the best in the world. They just need to put up a guy for me, compensate me, and I'll go out there and I'll do my job.
I'm sure you had certain expectations, you know, as you made your way up the ranks, that when I get to be a champion, that certain things will come along with it. How has the reality compared to what your expectations were as you came up?
No, and that's life. You know, things are not always as you think they're gonna be. And I've always said, man, you know, I need to do this interview, I need to do that, I need to go here, I need to do all that appearances. You know, I need to do this article and whatnot. Put as much into it, because when I become a champion, things will settle down. But then I became champion, and I realized, no, that's not the case at all. You know, this person demands time, that person demands time, this place and that place. And so it changed a lot. It did. But at the end of the day, you know, it's what I signed up for.
Did you get the sense that the UFC sees a lot of value in this fight? I mean, it is. I mean, obviously, it's headlining the year-end card. It's the top of 3 title fights. Did you get the feeling that they believe that this is a big fight between you and Colby?
It's the most anticipated fight of the year. There's no, whether it's a big fight or not. You know, last weekend we saw a big fight, Izzy and Whitaker. That was a big fight. But this is the most anticipated fight of the year. Who in their right mind has not wanted to see this fight? Everybody wants to see this fight. It's not even close. Of course, there's fun, fan-friendly fight like, you know, the Diaz and Masvidal. That's a big, fun, fan-friendly fight. Like, of course, I'm gonna watch that. Everybody wants to watch two guys that can take a beating. Everybody wants to see that. But this is the most anticipated fight of the year, and yes, this is a big fight. The organization definitely knows this is a big fight. That's why they made this fight.
For anybody out there, like new fans who maybe aren't aware of the history between you and Colby, or you know, your history coming up the ranks, why would you tell them? Why is this the most anticipated fight of the year?
This is a fight by fate. This is already written. You know, there's a lot of things that people now. I want people to start doing their research. Once they start doing their research, there's a lot of things to see here in this fight. I mean, the first time I've ever witnessed a mixed martial arts fight, I was at a house party with John Jones, who later became roommates with this guy. I stayed in the room where this guy later came and lived at while he was in college. And that was the first time I ever saw a fight, to where we now live 20 miles apart from each other, to where we're both in the same promotion, to where we were both wrestlers growing up. But I'm a small boy from Auchi, Nigeria. And this man was born in, I guess, Oregon or somewhere here in the States. And look where we've ended up. The one lone loss that I have was to a guy that he's defeated. His loss was to a guy that I've defeated. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of this sport. And so there's a lot of things here that makes this fight the biggest fight. And then, of course, you know, the political aspects, his views on life and different things that add to this fight. Man, this is the most anticipated fight, and I'm December 14th. I hope this truly happens.
How big is the political stuff? Obviously, is a big part of what he's pushing and what he wants his identity to be. Leading into this fight, how much of a focus or not do you have on that aspect of it?
Not a ton. I'm not really a big political guy, even though I'm one of the people. So I am affected by what the politics of the world happens. I'm affected by that, so I am one of those people, and so I do see some of it. But man, he's kind of made this. He's kind of made this something to separate people. In my life, I'm a small boy from Auchi, Nigeria. I just wanted to be accepted by my peers. I just wanted to be, have my parents be proud of me, to make them proud. And, I did that by working hard, being true to myself and the values that they've taught me. I didn't have to create a persona for myself. I didn't have to be somebody that I am not. I stand by what I say, and I mean what I say each and every time. And so, that's the biggest aspect of this. I'm for the people, and he's trying to separate and segregate the people, and that's not what I'm about. I'm an immigrant to this country, and I am the American. They call it an American dream for a reason, and I am that American dream. I am living that American dream. He's not. He feels privileged. He feels like, oh, this should be mine just because I was born here and I'm American. But that's not what it means to be an American. Americans are immigrants that work their ass off to make this one of the greatest nations in the world. And that's what I aim to be. That's where I aim to keep this title, American.
How do you feel about a lot of the pre-fight buildup? I feel like is going to be about that, and we've seen in certain different fights where it's the trash talking. It can potentially get out of hand. It can get ugly. Certain things can be misconstrued, or people can just cross certain lines. Do you think that this has the potential for that? And is that a concern of yours at all?
Oh, he's already crossed the line several times. He has no boundaries. But I'm an old school guy. I still respect my elders. I respect my father, my mother, and everything that they've taught me. So, for me, they've always taught me there's a line. Because that's just why you have to respect human beings. And so I know that. But I'm being true to myself and being true to those values, and I'm going to hold steadfast to that. And if I'm that way, I'm not crossing any lines. There's certain things that you don't do because that's just not. That goes against humanity, and he doesn't know that. So he can say whatever he wants, he can do whatever he wants, but I've been put in this position for a reason. I didn't, you don't necessarily choose where you're put in, but you're just there. In the 25 years of this sport, in the UFC, this promotion, why hasn't there been an African-born champion? Why did I have to be the first? I didn't choose that. It just happened. So with great power comes great responsibility, and December 14th, it is my responsibility to teach this young man the ramifications of doing what he's doing.
Yeah, and once that fight starts, are we going to see a competitive fight in December?
You would like to think so. That's the thing with me. That's you never know with me. The one thing that you do know is that I will dominate my opponent from start to finish. If we really break down my stats, who's consecutively scored 10-8 rounds, some 10-7 rounds, no one's been doing that. And I just did that against a champion, a dominant champion, tough, strong, fully aggressive champion, a good champion. And I just did that against him. So, of course, I'm expecting a competitive fight. I always expect a competitive fight, which is why I train so hard. So you're gonna expect it, but I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think it's gonna last too long.
Last question: when you watch that fight on November 2nd between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, will you be looking at that as the winner is going to be my next opponent?
I don't care. I think there's a guy out there that's more deserving than either one of them. I think there's a guy out there that will beat, that's better than both of them. But, like I said, it's not just me picking guys here to fight. My job is just to train and fight whoever they put in front of me because I am the champion of the world. If I don't fight, you don't make money. My daughter likes nice things, so, I got to make money and I got to get her those nice things.
All right, man. Looking forward to the fight. We'll see you there. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports and analysis, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and special content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.